Good morning, YouTube. Hope this video finds you well. It's Tuesday, November 14th, 2017. I had no plans of making a video today at all. But last night I got to thinking about BitConnect, and whenever I talk to someone about the lending platforms that I've joined, I'm with BitConnect and USI Tech, and they're Bitcoin-based investment opportunities. And whenever I talk to someone about it, and you talk about the returns or making 1% a day, the first question is, how in the world could anyone afford to pay that as an investor or a lender? It's way above anything that you could expect to receive in the open market, you know, from any type of institutional based program or lender. So, it's a very valid question. So I started to crunch the math, and what I did is I did a use case. Or a case study. I picked today's date, which is November 14th, and I just said, hey, if I would have invested $10,000 in BitConnect, those terms are 120 days. So I went 120 days backwards, which would be July 14th of this year. See what the price of BitConnect was then, the price of Bitcoin, and then just do the math and kind of determine what those results should look like. And it should paint some type of a story, in real time. So the only information that's somewhat speculative is there's a gentleman named Roy Murphy who he has a BitConnect channel, and he's a really good computer guy. I've referenced him in a previous video, and he went into the system and using the addresses and however you do that with hacking, he got into the network, and he claims to have located the BitConnect trading bot, and he followed the trading of the bot, and he's determined that the bot pays us 25% of what it makes in the market. And that's on a sliding scale. So if it makes a lot more money, it's actually less than that, but it averages out to be around 25%. So that's the only speculative number that's going to be in this analysis that I'm going to show you. But the rest of it is just cold hard math of what the price was then versus now and the gains. And it really, really shows how genius this is. This is a master class in a mathematical equation, the system that BitConnect is using, and the key to it is having their own coin. So we'll get into it, but let me pull up the sheet here. All right, so this is what I did. So the example is if we were going to do a $10,000 loan, $10,010 loan back from July 14th, and then it would be due today. Or it probably would have been due yesterday, because I think it's 119 days or something like that. But either way, so on July 14th, Bitcoin was $2,330 per Bitcoin, and BitConnect tokens were $57.57. All right, so if you were to take your $10,010 and convert it into Bitcoin on that date, you would have got 4.29 Bitcoin. Okay. So then you would take that and you would give that to BitConnect, and they would convert that into BitConnect tokens, BCC, which is the only thing that they take on their site for their lending or staking or anything. So you have to convert it into BitConnect coin. Okay, so you do that, that would be 173 BitConnect coins. All right, and that would be $10,000, $10,010 at 57.57. All right, now they own your Bitcoin. Your Bitcoin's gone. You understand? Your Bitcoin has been given to them. They've given you the tokens in their place. So now you can always convert your tokens back to Bitcoin if you wanted to get out of the system. But you're getting into the system to give them the loan. So they have your Bitcoin now. They own that, right? And this is very important stuff. And you have basically a BitConnect token, which they created, and which is basically an IOU. And now they owe you interest on your $10,010 every day. And they're claiming that interest comes from their trading bot. All right, so let me zoom in because I don't want to ruin their side of the equation too fast. Okay. All right, so you all know how BitConnect works, or you should have if you've seen my process. Basically, you invest money with them, and if you were to lend $10,010, they pay you 0.25% a day guaranteed, and then whatever the software of the system is making, which typically averages out to be around 1% per day, right? and that runs for 120 days, and then you get your money back. All right, so let's look at my sheet here. So what I did was I went to, let me show you what I did. Sorry. So here's the average payout for the last 5 days for BitConnect, right? Phenomenal. This is not, since I've been in, it's only been 2 or 3 weeks, but since I've been in, this isn't really normal, I don't think. I mean, the average is 1.5. I mean, this was yesterday. That's today's payout. I mean, you look at the average, it's a lot higher than standard. It's 1.27, 1.28, something like that for the last 5 days. So but let's go last 6 months. So what I did is the last 6 months, the average is 0.96, okay? And if you did a $10,000 loan, 120 days, calculate that, okay? Your profit would be $14,534.52, which for ROI of 145.20, and then a profit, well, with your principal back that you get back at the end, you get a capital release at the end of the 6 months. I'm sorry, the end of the 120 days, that would be $24,544.52 that you would get back. That's an unbelievable return for such a short period of time, right? So the question is asked, this is a scam, it's not real, this is not possible. Well, math never lies, so let's do some more math from their side of it. All right, so this details what I just said, $14,534.52 in interest. That's 1.21, because remember, that's not 0.96% daily from the that they were paying out on average, and then the 0.25 that you're guaranteed. So I normalize that into 1.21 a day. And then the capital release after 120 days, you basically receive back $24,544.52, okay? All right, let's get into their side. And this is where it's interesting to me. First of all, they kept your Bitcoin. They use that to trade in the market, but you never get that Bitcoin back. Through the blockchain, you have transferred it to them. They transferred you BCC or BitConnect tokens. They own that Bitcoin, never to be seen again by you unless they exchange you back out, right? Well, that Bitcoin that they received from you is worth $28,175. That's the value of Bitcoin today versus what it was, when you first got in and gave it to them. It was the 4.29 Bitcoin was worth $2,330 per Bitcoin. So that was $10,010 in Bitcoin on that date. Here we are 4 months later. That value is $28,000. All right. That already is more than what they paid you back in total. All right. But here's the magic. Okay. When they exchange that 4.29 Bitcoin for tokens, they gave you 173.87 BitConnect tokens, okay? Because they were $57.57 at the time. Well, 120 days later, because you then lent that back to them to trade, 120 days later, they only have to pay you back 39.58 BitConnect tokens because the tokens today are worth $252. I didn't put that on here. I should have. Sorry. The token's worth $252 today. So to pay you back $10,010 when your balance is due back to you, the capital release date, they only have to give you 39 tokens back, but you gave them 173 tokens, which means they're holding the value of 134 tokens that are now worth $252. Which is a gain of $33,961. So they gain almost $34,000 in value over 120 days off of the money you gave them. Then you factor in, and this is the part that is somewhat speculated, that assuming that the split is really a 75-25 split on the trading profits, they've made $43,603.56 off the trading during this period as well. So the grand total is off of your $10,000, they made $105,740 and paid you $24,544, and actually only $14,000 of that is interest. None of this was originally their money. So your return is $14,000 on your 10. Their return is $105,000 on their nothing. They didn't put any money in, you did. And this is somewhat exciting to me because this formula, the principles of this are somewhat sustainable. First of all, they're making money hand over fist. I mean, this is a very simple concept to grasp of how much they're making versus how much you're making. And you say to yourself, is this real money? Because who's going to buy these $33,000 worth of tokens? You know who is? You are. Because you know what you're going to do? You're going to keep 10,000 of this money maybe, and you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to do another loan for $14,000. But when you do that loan for $14,000, they're going to give you the token equivalent, which would be $252 per token divided into that 14,000. You know, you understand what I'm saying? So you're going to pay the new price when you reinvest, and everyone that reinvests or anybody that's new pays the current value of the token. But over time, the token is going to go up in value because BitConnect controls 75% of their tokens from the mining process alone, and then you loan all the tokens to them when you do loans. So at any given time, I don't have math for this, but at any given time, they're probably holding between 75 and 90% of the tokens on their system, which means that they can basically somewhat control the value of the token. I mean, it's tied to Bitcoin because you want the exchange of the Bitcoin dollars to match the ratio of that versus how much the BitConnect coin is. There's some math in there that you want those ratios to stay pretty close to the same. So as Bitcoin goes up, their token goes up. As Bitcoin goes down, their token goes down. But the point is, over the course of 120, 239, 299 days, typically their BitConnect token is going to be worth more than what you paid for it when you got in. On top of the fact that they own the Bitcoin that they get to trade and get the appreciation from that, and then they're getting 75% of the profits of the trading that they do with your Bitcoin. By my estimation, this is a sustainable model, at least for as long as Bitcoin is appreciating. And I think if Bitcoin slows down, I mean, obviously right here, they have enough reserves. I would imagine that if you ran into a bad spot, you could probably just cover it up with all the money you've made, right? I mean, there's $2 billion worth of BitConnect coin that they probably hold somewhere in that range. So there's money there to float while the market moves around. So if Bitcoin was to completely crash and go to zero, then I think this thing would pretty much crash and burn with it. But if Bitcoin continues to be viable and over time continues to rise, I think the program will be here to stay, mathematically speaking. I don't know who runs the company. The people could run off with all the money tomorrow, but why would you? You're making $100,000 off of other people's $10,000 with no money invested of your own, other than whatever it costs for you to mine the coins. So this is eye-opening numbers, eye-opening math, and it changes my view on them to some extent. When you really sit down and put the math together, this is a tremendous mathematical equation that's super profitable for them. And I prefer that because I don't want to make their 105. I want you to be around for 5 years to pay me the 1% a day. That's all I need from you. And the volume, so you can see that you can verify my my math if you like. Here's where I went back. Here's BitConnect price. And this was July 14th. So you see that I wasn't, just making up numbers here. So, I mean, it's at different points during the course of the day, but I did $57.57, which was about average for the day. And then I also went back and looked at Bitcoin back at the same period, which is where I got my $2,300 from, $2,330. And, Yeah, and then you look at coin market cap. Here's the BitConnect coin, and the daily volume for them. I mean, you look at this number, they're doing about $22 million a day in volume. So that's a lot of transactions. That's a lot of people doing loans. You know, a $10,000 loan isn't, it's not even, it's 1/100% maybe of their volume for the day. So it stands to reason that this could be a viable platform for a good amount of time going forward. The Roy Murphy video, I definitely recommend that you watch, because if you're doubtful about the 75-25 split and whether or not they're actually trading the market, his video, which I will link in the description box, really gets into that and how he found the IP addresses and the wallet addresses and everything he did to backtrack to find the actual trading bot. I'll put that video. It's a pretty good video. It's probably long for some of you. It's about 36 minutes long, but definitely watch it if you're interested. The BitConnect thing, I can't really say anything bad about it. It's producing for me right now. And when you do this kind of math and you see the infrastructure of what they've built, I mean, it's good stuff. I think it may last. Again, not an endorsement, not saying you guys should jump out there and sign up tomorrow. If you're so inclined to take the risk, never risk more than you're willing to lose. But for me, I'm considering throwing more money in. I mean, at least with that model, I'm going to give this thing at least a couple of years, because I think Bitcoin is going to continue to ascend. We're at under 1% adoption of Bitcoin internationally, under 1%. And its growth is parabolic. So it's only a matter of time before it at least jumps to the, I don't know, 10%. You generally, 1% is basically invention status, 3% is early adopter, 10% is mass market. So I think we'll get to at least mass market before we find out whether or not BitConnect's going to last. And that's probably within the next 3 to 5 years. And during that time, platforms like this one will probably be there the entire time for the ride. And ultimately, they may all crash and burn. But like I said, you give me 3 or 4 years to compound my money at 1% a day, I don't even need anything else other than that. So I'm excited. I think this is it's good information. So let me know what you think. Like the channel or like the video, subscribe to the channel. Give me some type of discourse back in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Talk to me, people. I tried to give you information today and see what you thought about it. So this is exciting information, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm all in on BitConnect. Tomorrow's video will be my update on USI Tech. The person that referred me to USI Tech told me that I shouldn't really have videos showing my back office. So I'm double checking that that's the case. And if that is the case, then we'll probably have to change my approach on the USI Tech videos, because if I can't show my back office and I can't really give you my exact numbers of what I'm doing, then I don't know. And I don't want it to be a promotional video. The whole point of this was to track my progress. So I have to figure out what I want to do with that if I can't show any of my numbers or anything. But I'll give you updates on it at least, and maybe we'll do the USI Tech days. We'll just talk about the company, and I'll have to change their updates to maybe once a week, just to get some general company information and basic general overview of how my performance has been during the course of that week, if I can't show you the data. But because, full transparency on this channel. So my thoughts straight from my head and no fluff. We're looking at this thing, but I feel really good about the BitConnect. I have to be honest. I feel really good about it. So that's where we're at today. Information that you need will be in the description box. Thanks for giving me some more of your time today. Be good and have a wonderful day. Thanks.